Hey! What's up everyone, it's me, it's Rich. Alright guys, so like I said, I'm back and this is my in-depth movie review for the movie Split. Now, I'll do my in-depth review of this movie and then later on I'll get into some spoilers and so on and so on. Alright, so first off, my in-depth review of the movie. This movie was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and actually, he produced it as well, along with Jason Blum. So James McAvoy and Anya Taylor-Joy are the two basically main characters in this movie. And then you have Betty Buckley as Dr. Karen Fletcher, which actually, she's a big part of this movie as well. So, first things first, again, like I said in my initial review, this movie's awesome. This movie's freaking awesome, guys. This movie's awesome, guys. I mean, gosh, this is actually, well, technically yesterday, I've watched it 3 times now. So yesterday was my 3rd time watching it, and the more I watch it, the more I find all these little subtle things about the movie, and the more I'm loving the freaking movie. I love this movie. I love this movie. Now, as far as like actually grading it, I don't know if I would give it like, you know, a 9, but if anything, I'd probably give this like an 8, maybe even higher than an 8. Maybe I would go as far as to say maybe even an 8.5 for me. This is definitely one of Shyamalan's best work by far. I mean, I would say top three of his movies, you know, top 3 of his freaking movies. And that's actually saying something. Anywho, like I said, probably top 3 of his movies. Definitely. Spoilers alert. I'm gonna drop it now. Dropping it now. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Okay, so first off, this movie actually ties in with Unbreakable, and I do know his best work for me personally is Unbreakable. I love Unbreakable. Probably right after that is Signs. But Split is an extension of the Unbreakable universe. So in a way, in a sense, Split is actually a spin-off off of Unbreakable. So, anyways, all the actors in this movie shines. Even the 2 girls that were with Casey, you know, Anya Taylor-Joy's character, that were Casey in the room. Yes, in the room. But like I said before, James McAvoy steals this movie. I mean, if you didn't like the plot or even the story or even, you know, I'm confused. The one thing you won't be confused about is James McAvoy's performance. So let me tell you, that performance is, gosh, it's crazy how you can, you know, how he actually goes from one character to another in camera, like just seeing it. Oh my god, it's fantastic. It's freaking great. Also, on top of that, Anya Taylor-Joy, the more, actually, again, 3rd time watching this movie now, she's very subtle in her performances. I mean, one example is, you know, like when, in the beginning of the movie, this is the beginning of the movie, when they were in the car. Just the fact that she, you know, a typical, probably, I don't know, I would say maybe a typical person would, like, get out of the door right away, but the fact that she stayed in there, there was that sense of, you know, we've all heard the term before, fight or flight, and in a way, her response to that situation was that she froze. She didn't know what to do, and I like that just because for the most part, I feel like everyone would try to get out of the door right away. You wouldn't really think, oh yes, I see this person, or you would probably scream. I don't know, someone would probably scream, but at the end, you know, I love the fact that Shyamalan, instead of her kind of just screaming and like trying to get out the door right away, he chose for that character to stay there, and actually in a way it made it more suspenseful, because right when she, you know, right when she was about to get out and you hear that click, she turns her head and you see McAvoy's, you know, that character Dennis was looking at her, and you're like, oh shit, she's dead, she's freaking dead. Also, I feel like on top of that, even if she does scream, or, you know, after the 2 girls get all pretty much pepper sprayed, but I'm pretty sure that's not pepper spray. I'm pretty sure that's something else to make them fall asleep. Right? Yeah, I think so. Anywho, I think even if she did try to get out, like, let's be honest, Dennis is not stupid. He knows there's 3 girls in there. He knows. He freaking knows. And once she made that noise, you know, again, like if she were to just scream and run away, he'd just grab her. He would just grab her and probably hurt her even more. So I think the fact that he chose that route, you know, made, again, watching it 3 times now, I was like, that was the better decision, at least in my opinion. And of course, a big part of this movie too is, like I said, Dr. Karen Fletcher. She's the one basically trying to prove that these more than extraordinary people exist, you know, and it's the DID something disorder. You would think that after watching it 3 times already, I would know. Yeah, I don't remember. Guys, if you guys didn't really know, I'm actually quite forgetful. I'm pretty forgetful sometimes. Anyways, like I said, Dr. Karen Fletcher actually is a big part of the story. But yeah, I mean, just those 3 alone, those 3 actors alone, just bravo, freaking bravo. But of course, James McAvoy, come on. Freaking James McAvoy steals this movie. It's his movie. It's his freaking movie. Okay, so since we're already in spoiler territory, I'm gonna get more involved in the movie. So again, like I said, this movie is in the whole Unbreakable universe. This movie is basically a spin-off from that movie. And Unbreakable came out 2000. So this movie is basically a freaking spin-off sequel from a, you know, 16, 17-year-old movie. And me, like I said in my initial review, being a M. Night Shyamalan's fan of his early works, this was just a mind freaking blown. I was mind blown last week when I first watched it with a couple of friends of mine. And man, like, this freaking movie. Alright, so anyways, the ending. The ending is where a lot of people, I think, gets lost a little bit. So in the ending, there's a zoom in the diner, and you know, they're basically saying that there's the horde that they're calling, you know, Dennis, Patricia, Hedwig, and the Beast, basically the horde. They're calling themselves the horde, and it's a zoom in pan, or it's not even a zoom in, but it's just a pan towards the diner table, and there's this lady who's talking about, what's that guy's name that they arrested 15 years ago and he was on a wheelchair? And then there's that reveal, right? She leans back a little bit, and there's Bruce Willis, David Dunn from Unbreakable, and he's like Mr. Glass. Takes a sip of his coffee, and then boom, kind of hovers a little bit on him, stops on him, and then hovers. He's thinking, and then cuts. And so right then and there, if you do know Unbreakable, then you'll get the movie a lot more. I think that's one of the downfalls of this movie, is that watching it 3 times now, the movie does stand alone by itself. It's great. It's actually really good. It's a decent movie. But the thing is, that ending does detract a little bit from, I guess, I don't want to say the hype of this movie, but there's a lot of talks about the twist in the end, but I think, to be honest with you, it's more of a reveal. The reveal of Bruce Willis at the diner is more of a twist in and of itself, because you're just like, wait, what? This movie is a fucking Unbreakable spin-off sequel, basically? And so, like, again, it's not a twist, because if you take away that diner scene, the movie ends, you know, I think the movie ends in a good way, in a cliffhanger sort of way, where, you know, the Beast survives, obviously. Then you see Dennis, Patricia, and Hedwig talking to themselves, basically saying, hey, is the world finally gonna believe us? Is the world gonna know that we're here? And they're like, yes, they're gonna have to, because of what we just did. And right then and there, at the very end, you basically have the Beast exposing himself to the world, and how they do exist, you know. Now here's the thing, though. As much as there's a lot of awesome things that happen in this movie, there's a few questions that I want answered now. Like, I want a freaking sequel in 2 years. I don't care. I'm pretty sure. Here's the thing. This movie didn't really cost that much to make, and the fact that it was just last week. This movie just came out last week, and the fact that it already made $40 million, believe they already made back their money. And on top of that, the word of mouth of this movie is amazing. You know, it's only been the second week, but for this kind of movie to have a very, very full audience from where I was, the theater I was in, it was crazy. Here's the thing too, on top of that I want to say this is by far the second best audience I've had ever in a movie theater. Second. Now, a lot of laughs, a lot of like, oh shit kind of moments in my theater, and man, it was just a great experience. On top of that, since I've seen it 3 times already, just seeing everyone else's reaction was just like, it was priceless. It was freaking awesome. Anyways, going back to all this other questions that I want answered right away. I mean, here's the thing. So there are a lot of patients. If you go back to that movie, if you decide to watch it again, there's patients like Dr. Fletcher had these, you know, file cabinets, and it ranges from like basically 0 to like 600. There are a lot of patients with DID. Oh, DOD? No, it's DID. I believe it. Oh crap. See now I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting. I'll just post it here, somewhere here, down here. You know what I mean? DID, DOD, whatever it is. So bad. Anyways, guys. There's a lot of patients like this in the world, in the world they live in that universe basically. And I'm wondering if each and every single one has a potential beast inside them, because in the movie, the beast was actually, I guess, in a way, basically created or manifested itself when first of all, Kevin Wendell Crumb is the actual person, the body. He is the main, he is the main, not so much vessel, but basically he is the main guy. He is the main dude, and then, you just had all these other personalities coming up, and as we all know, if you've seen the movie, Dennis, I believe, probably was the first one made, because Dennis manifested when, they said it in the movie when Kevin's mom was pretty much hurting him at the age of 3, so that's pretty much when Dennis manifested, and I'm pretty sure all these other personalities manifested throughout his whole life. So, anyways, the beast was actually manifested or created itself, probably, or maybe even, I don't know, maybe even Dennis Patricia kind of manifested the beast within him, but the beast was basically manifested / created during their time underneath the maintenance place, basically underneath the whole zoo, because I can't even talk. But basically the beast probably manifested or created from Dennis and Patricia's, minds during that time when they were underneath the whole maintenance level at the zoo. There we go. Use your English words and language, Rich. So yeah, so that's the thing. Like I said, I wonder if there's a potential beast inside all these other patients. That would be pretty intense. That would be pretty crazy. But at the same time, I wonder if they're probably not like the beast that manifested in Kevin. Maybe it's a certain kind of, not so much creature, but a certain kind of higher evolution, as the beast was said. As the beast says, that they're basically a higher evolution of humans. They're not human. They can think the way they want to be. Now that I think about more of this movie, it's basically X-Men. Hey, look, I love X-Men, but that's pretty cool, because in a way, the whole mutants and people, you guys know. So yeah, that's definitely one of my questions. Also, another question in mind is like, so it's been 15 years, right? It's been 15 years that this whole world has been going since Unbreakable came out, 2000. And what has David Dunn been up to? Like, what has he been up to? Like, what is he retired? Is he fighting the good fight? Because in a way, towards the end, he takes a sip of his cup. Come on. He takes a sip of his coffee and then kind of thinks. Like I said earlier, he thinks, he ponders a little bit, and then it just cuts. So I wonder if he is fighting the good fight, or maybe he's been recruiting all these other Unbreakables, or maybe even all these other DID, or maybe even these other people that has these kind of special abilities, right? Because in a way, in this universe, we've seen 2 things so far, or actually technically 3. So you have Bruce Willis' character David Dunn, who's basically unbreakable. He doesn't get sick, doesn't break any bones. He is unbreakable. You know, even his skin, like I'm pretty sure in the movie I recall when he got in an accident, there's no blood in him. Not a single blood. You know, not even a scratch. So he's basically like Luke Cage. In some sort of way, he's basically like that. And then you have Samuel L. Jackson's character. I'm forgetting his... Oh, Elijah? I think? Anywho, Mr. Glass. And that's what they say... Oh, that's what Bruce Willis is. Bruce Willis is? Oh, I can't talk. I can't talk, guys. I can't talk. Bruce Willis's character, David Dunn, that's what he says towards the end, Mr. Glass. So, again, right then and there last week, I was like, oh my gosh, what? Anyways, but yeah, no, so there's that. I'm forgetting. I know I have one more question. Oh, also, not even one more question, but the third thing is James McAvoy's character and all those other people that has the same disorder as he does. Gosh. So yeah, and also one cool thing about this movie is that we're watching the movie, and if you don't know it yet, or no, you know, as you're watching the movie, even if it's your first time, actually, if it is your first time watching the movie, you're watching James McAvoy's character pretty much transforming, you know, the whole way through, and we're actually watching a villain, and in a sense, for just a little bit, you're like, okay, maybe he is, you know, I feel for him. Next thing you know, towards the end of the movie, he's basically a villain. James McAvoy's character is a freaking villain. And if you want to put it in superhero terms, he's a super villain. Shout out to my boy Brian, who actually told me about that, even though I already knew he was a bad guy, but just like in terms of that universe, freaking the Horde, the Beast, is a freaking villain. They're all villains. Well, not all, but you know, they're villains. Alright, so I'm pretty much rambling on here, but basically, again, this movie is freaking awesome. I cannot wait for whenever the sequel comes. I don't think there's gonna be a Split 2, and I don't even think there's gonna be an Unbreakable through. Come on now, use your words. Unbreakable 2, not through, but 2. I don't think there's gonna be an Unbreakable 2. I think I forget where I heard this, but I think it was I think it was one of the IGN reviews about the spoiler review about Split, and this person he's calling the third movie, or he thinks the third movie is gonna be called Shattered, which is pretty cool. You see Unbreakable and then Split and then Shattered. I mean, that right there, when he said that, I was just like, oh my gosh, mind blown. And calling it Shattered actually is like genius, just because in a way it's kind of foreshadowing maybe Mr. Glass coming back, and I don't know. I mean, this whole movie, this whole universe just expanded by just one movie, and it's freaking awesome. I cannot. This movie is freaking awesome. Anyways, guys, I'm rambling on. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Whoever's watching, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome, awesome, awesome. And as I've said before, my whole channel is kind of getting an overhaul, an uplift overhaul. So just stay tuned. I'm gonna have more stuff coming. I'm working on it. Thank you for being patient. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Alright, that's it. I'm Rich, and I'm out. Stay awesome, my friends.